Guys, it's Brian with Turp Mechanic. Today it's middle of August. It's very hot. It's like it almost hit 90 degrees today. So at the end of the day, the sun is setting over there. Temperature has come down. Over here, this is Kentucky bluegrass. I have unwanted Bermuda grass invading the space, and I'm going to go ahead and spray it down with the stuff that kills Bermuda grass out of Kentucky bluegrass. The stuff that I'm using is called Pylex. It is very expensive. This is a boutique product that only crazy people like me want to use. Look at that. That looks fantastic. For the average person, for like 99% of people are going to be like, that's great. Why would I want to do anything to it? I'm the 1%. So if you are in the 1% and you want to have a absolute pure stand of Kentucky bluegrass and you want to kill the Bermuda out of it, then that's what I'm doing right here. Let me go show you some of the Bermuda up close, and then I'm going to show you what things look like when you spray the Pylex on your Kentucky bluegrass. What happens to the Kentucky bluegrass and what happens to the unwanted Bermuda grass. All right, I've already pre-mixed my Pylex into my tank with water. This is about 300 square feet. I'm not going to spray the entire 300. However, I'm probably going to spray the vast majority of it. So right here, Bermuda grass, as you can always know, as it starts creeping out over the sides, you know you've got it. So this is Bermuda grass. This right here, the pleasant stuff that we want, is Kentucky bluegrass. So this Bermuda really goes into the area. It's usually lower in the profile. Here's a little bit sticking up right there. So that's some. Here we go. Look at that. I can pull a whole stolon up. That is Bermuda in the middle of the KBG. As I scan, look at that. There's some Bermuda all over the place. This is really infested with it. It's almost impossible to get rid of this stuff forever. You're always dealing with some of it to some degree. Bermuda, like you can easily find this once you know what you're looking for. Bermuda. That's crabgrass. That's different. I could just pull that out around. Once you got crabgrass good and under control, you can mostly get rid of it just by hand pulling. But there's Bermuda around it. This I've been letting go for a couple months. I'm curious to see what it looks like when I spray this stuff with Pylex. So all of this is Bermuda. No joke. This has been like this for at least 2 months in preparation for this video. I'm going to spray everything around here, including all of this, and we're just going to see what it looks like. Everything over here is most likely spreading this way, just under the foliage. Look, there's some right there. So there's some. I can feel a stolon there. I just cut it with my finger. So there's a bunch in here. I'm going to spray the whole thing with Pylex and show you what it looks like. Can't spray this stuff in 90-degree heat. So here I am spraying in the evening when it's closer to 78, 79 degrees. So we're under 80. There's my daughter. Hi.
Hello.
Tell me what you think about this spot right there.
It's overgrown.
That's overgrown?
Yeah.
That doesn't look like anything else that we want, does it?
No, it doesn't look like it.
You want that to go everywhere, don't you?
No.
No?
No.
No? You want me to get rid of it?
Yeah.
All right, we'll get rid of it. That's actually the same stuff over there. That's Bermuda. So when you actually make Bermuda look good, it looks pretty stinking good. But I don't want it in with my Kentucky bluegrass. And neither does my daughter. Don't smile. You look too nice. You're too beautiful. Stop it. All right, 2 days has passed since I put all of that Pylex down on the lawn. I want to show you what it looks like right now. Obviously, you can see over my shoulder. Nothing really looks too much different. It's just a little bushy. It needs a mow. Anytime you spray any herbicide on the lawn, you should at least wait a couple days from the last mow when you spray herbicide, and then wait at least a couple days after you spray the herbicide to mow it again. So at this point, it's been about 48 hours. Technically, it's not because it's middle of the afternoon. I'm closer to like 45 hours, but I'm going to call it 2 days. I'm going to go ahead and mow this down and do a little bit edging and trimming. That bushy spot way up front, I'm just going to leave it, even though it's going to look dumb. I'm going to leave it because I want to see what it looks like over time as the Pilex works. Pilex does not work overnight. You're not really going to see anything for a while. With this video, we're going to track how long it takes to actually see the Bermuda dying. You see that? After 48 hours, this looks almost untouched. But you got to trust it. This thing is slowly dying from the root up. Same thing with everything here in the lawn. And then here's my bushy spot that I've let overgrow for a long time. And even though it's going to look silly, I'm just going to leave this here. I'm going to edge everything, mow everything, but I'm going to leave that just to see it. Before I cut, this is another way that you can tell that you've got Bermuda growing in your lawn. You get these Bermuda seed heads popping up. Bermuda frequently is below your Kentucky Bluegrass or your Fescue. So like it's just lower to the ground. You don't really notice it as much, but the seed heads start popping up like crazy. So you'll see seed heads throughout your lawn if you let it get overgrown. And they shouldn't be there. All right, here we are almost a week later, and you can see all of this sprinkled white in the lawn. All of this white is warm season grass that is slowly dying because of the Pilex. The vast majority of it is Bermuda grass, but there's actually some other things turning white and dying in here. Let's look at some of the white up close. You see that? There's the Bermuda. It's white on the top. The white is slowly spreading lower and lower. You're going to find that with all of it everywhere. So everything that's white is slowly dying, leaf down to rhizome and root. But Pilex kills a lot of warm season grasses. One of the warm season grasses is crabgrass. So here's a chunk of crabgrass, and it's doing the same thing. I got some crabgrass there, got a little bit of crabgrass here, a little bit there, and I've also got kikuyu grass. If you're in Southern California, you'll find kikuyu grass, and this is starting to do the exact same thing. Little chunk. This is the only kikuyu grass that I have identified here. Is a little bit. I guess I lied. I think that's kikuyu grass. But in any event, kikuyu grass, Bermuda grass. This is my big tuft Bermuda grass that I've let be. Just curious to see how it goes. But after that amount of time, you can literally physically see, like with your eyes, all of the grass starting to fade away. Now, eventually here, I'm going to have to spray again to get a full kill down to the root. And by full kill, that just means that I knock it back, and then I probably will have to do the same thing next year. You're going to end up doing Pilex roughly 3 times per year to really get the warm season grasses like Bermuda and kikuyu and whatnot under control in your cool season lawn. This is Kentucky Bluegrass. It could be Fescue or something else. This is what it looks like on day 9, September 1st, 2025. I just cut it shorter than it was at the beginning of this video, so we can actually see a lot of the Bermuda grass that was lower in the that was lower in the canopy. Even without getting close, you can see dappled white everywhere. This is the stuff that was, after I edged, this is stuff that was bleeding over, kind of stretching over the curb over here. This is all the stuff that was just dappled right in the middle that you couldn't even tell was there underneath. There's a lot of it over here. A lot of the Bermuda grass on the edge was starting to go over the curb towards the neighbor's lawn. Here's a stolon that it's just, I mean, look how long that is. So it's growing from there. It's growing like a foot, more than a foot in that direction. And it's kind of all over the place. Here's another one. Another stolon. This one is trying to root right there. Pull it out of the ground. Comes up. It's all Bermuda. And white on the end. And so eventually, after 21 to 24 days, we'll spray this entire area down with Pilex one more time. And the second time, we're going to get even more kill. And then, depending on the seasonality, we're going to spray it a third time. Here in the middle of the summer, late summer, we're getting kikuyu dying. We're getting crabgrass dying multiple times over the course of the summer. Everything is going to die. All right, today's day 22. I want to show you the spot. As you can see, it's looking pretty good right now. You can barely see, hardly at all, any of the dead stuff that died, except for this little patch right here that I've left, that awkward patch. Let's look at it up close. All right, I've been edging and mowing and whatnot this whole time, but this is what was growing and looking beautiful. Beautiful. There's actually still just a tiny bit of green on it. See that? So it's not fully dead, but it certainly is pretty darn stinking close. You can also see there's still a little bit in here that's white. All of this is some of the unwanted Bermuda, kind of rooted down. So it's still in here. Every time you're going to try to kill off Bermuda, it's going to take a couple, 2 to 3 rounds. Ideally, you're going to be putting down the Pilex on this stuff kind of in the mid to late July, and then the 3 weeks later, and then 3 weeks later after that, somewhere around the 1st of September. I'm a little bit behind the curve, but that's just because I live in Southern California, where everything stays green and growing way into the fall, all the way into winter for many grass types. Over here is where the crabgrass was. And I mean, it's basically gone. I think that was it. Part of it right there. So it really killed the crabgrass off fast and like hard. So this is a good option for killing off crabgrass quickly when the crabgrass is fully mature. Pilex just nailed it. Some of the Bermuda is still here, white. A little bit of white, dappled white sprinkled throughout everywhere over here. This spot really thinned out with the Bermuda grass. But when you apply Pilex to kill off Bermuda in your cool season lawn, do not do it once. Got to do it 2 times, sometimes 3. So today, day 22, I'm going to apply my second round and see what it looks like by early October. As I've said before, you do not cut your grass for at least a couple days before you apply Pilex, or any other herbicide for that matter, and you don't cut the grass for at least a couple days after you apply. I haven't cut this in about 4 days, and then I'm going to apply today, and I'm going to wait at least 2 more, so it's going to be a little bit shaggy by the time I finally get to mow the grass, but that's how we get the herbicide to work its best. In the meantime, because it is September, I'm going to start going into my fall fertilization kick. This is real hardcore fall lawn care. So if you're watching this video in the middle of the summer, I'll put a summer lawn care guide video up here in the corner. Or depending on the season, it's going to be a fall lawn care guide. So regardless of what time you're watching, use one of these links up here to learn what to do next, before, and during the process of killing off Bermuda.